Ska gå kvällsbyscha lite grann och smyga lite och se om vi kan hitta någon hjort. Den här jakten som vi gör just nu, den är väl inte den som sätter konditionen på högsta prov, men däremot så är det alldeles vindstilla och kan vara rädsligt. So what we'll do now, totally different type of deer, still red deer, different behaviour. Okay. We're going to go along the edge of the bigger forest, yes, and look for something coming out into the smaller, broadleaf forest. And hopefully you'll find a good stag there for me. A little evening hunt. Yes, yes. That's good. So very typically at this time of year, this is a hind area, and the stags will start to gather here in the next week to 10 days for the rut. And at the moment, this end of the estate, 250, 300 females, and maybe at this time 130 to 150 calves, but no more than 30 or 40 stags. But in 2 weeks' time, there will be at least another 200, 250 stags will come into this area, and that'll be, and they arrive about 7 or 8 days, maybe as long as 10 days, but normally about 7 or 8 days before the bromf starts, before the rut starts.
But yes, you must explain that with the red deer forest. If you don't see any forest, why do you call it like that?
It's very interesting because a lot of it goes back to Albert and Victoria. And when Queen Victoria married a German prince, they brought with us a lot of terminology that went with it. And we believe that the term deer forest came from the term jakt, or hunt. And it was a deer hunt. And they translated it as forest. But you're absolutely right. And you asked me already, why do I see no trees in a forest? And it just became a term for an area of land, almost like a revier or a hunt. And typically in the Highlands is different to a forest area. The deer can move over big distances, and you'll have some parts of the estate, what we're looking at here, is dominated by females, and the females are socially stronger than the males. So that you'll find, because they have a demand to grow young and produce milk, socially the females will dominate the better areas and the better grasses.
So they push the males away?
Yeah, they push the males out. And it's when you make decisions about your hunts in Scotland, what we do is we look at what are the right numbers of animals for the ground, and what indicates that is depends on your objectives. If you want to have forest, you have to have less deer. If you want to maintain a grassland or a heather moorland, you just balance the herd to the condition of the ground. There are some areas in Scotland now where they make big reductions in red deer numbers because they want to have forests again, and the easiest solution is to make a fence. In Scotland, because we don't have things like moose and we don't have things like boar. And for our forest areas, we make a high fence around them, let the forest establish and then let the red deer back in. But we spoke earlier about the economics, and to a lot of Highland estates, the economics means that they want their deer, and you hear in the background sheep calling, and they want their sheep too. And you can't have your sheep, your deer and a big forest. So you must balance. But it's provided the land isn't becoming poorer, And I think you look at what we call indicator species, so things like heath and heather and in some areas woodland, provided they can be seen to be either stable or recovering, then this governs how many deer you can carry. The smart thing to remember is with the ratio, and here we on this area we run the herd at about 1 to 1.5. Ideally we're aiming to 1 to 1.2, so that's for every male 1.2 to 1.5 females. And the closer you keep it to 1 to 1, the better the trophies will grow. The better the male survival is for the adults, and the better the survival is of the calves. I've had a lot of hunters think, I have a lot of females and I have a lot of stags. It puts a lot of stress on the males, it makes the calving period much longer, and it makes the mortality higher. I don't know, you probably find the same thing.
Yes.
Now this for us is quite interesting, because typically in the highlands, the deer had lost their forest cover, and they lived freely on the mountains. And it's interesting how when they're given access back to the forest, how quickly they change their behaviour and become more like what you're used to.
Yes. Ja, nu har vi varit här några dagar och vi har haft jagat sena kvällar, tidiga morgnar och ännu en tidig morgon. Men det är helt fantastiskt och vädret är precis på topp. De har ungefär 3 dagar med uppehållsväder och jag tror att vi har prickat in alla de 3 dagarna. Det är ett enormt vackert landskap, så det är dags att ge sig ut på morgonpyschen. Kom ihåg en kille, höger bakdäck ligger nyckeln på.
Exakt 592 meter går de att beta. De kommer att beta sig successivt upp för att gå upp i skogen och vila under dagen. De här hjortarna i skogen i Skottland, de fungerar precis som hjortarna gör i Sverige. Korta perioder ute, sent på kvällen, eller då är de ute hela natten naturligtvis. Och väldigt, väldigt tidigt på morgonen så går de in och tar dagläge.
You feel the wind is another. The wind is different. The wind is not this way.
Must go around them.
They'll come to us.
Yeah, okay. They should up in the forest and take the day rest here. Yes. Två stycken hjortar som är här nere. Det är en som är skjutbar, det är den yngre. Det går en riktigt stor herre där, men den ska sparas. Vi ska försöka ta den ungefär 150 meter avstånd. Yes, the left one. Shoot the left one. Yes. Okay, take the guy in the left. Shoot. Good.
And this is a big stag going down.
Yes.
That's not Goering, that's, we have a big stag called Goering, that's one of his sons.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. Now this stag here is classic of the German genetics that came here in the 1930s.
This is really big.
Yeah, it's a big stag. And down by the high seat, you see more stags, Nick.
Yeah.
Down right in front of the high seat as well.
Nu hade vi faktiskt lite tur här också.
Many stags, look. 20, 30 by the high seat.
There's a lot of vi hade flyt, vi hade väldigt dålig vind. Men så den stora hjorten, den var ju helt klar på vad vi var. Medan den mindre stod och betade, så det var bara en snabb chans att ta den.
As we came over the top, the wind,
Yes,
for a moment.
Yeah.
The wind has changed again now.
It's changing all the time.
Just as we lay down, the wind went and pointed straight to the deer.
Ja. Så precis som Niall säger, så är det så att vi har snurrvindar, och det är det värsta vi vet hemma också, framförallt när vi jagar älg med våra löshundar. Och det var en lurig vind. Nu vände den, vi fick den i ryggen, så det var ett snabbt beslut. Men det gick bra. Och ja, kul. Det blir lite spänning. Okay.
So if you look below now, you can see the stags going into the forest. Yeah? You see them all?
Yeah.
So these guys behave typically like deer you hunt at home.
Yeah. Quite exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Good guiding.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
Ja. Det här är ju som grädde på moset. En lyckad ansmygning, skjuta en hjort, men framförallt vilket landskap. Det är nästan svårt att beskriva det här. Jag tror att man måste vara här. Eller rättare sagt, man måste vara här. Helt fantastiskt. Det är lite konstigt, det känns lite konstigt att ha folk som bär ens vapen och bär grejer och moja. Men så här är det, och det är ju en stor och viktig del för Skottland, jakten. Den inbringar otroligt mycket ekonomi. Så de vill ha det så här. Okej, kan vara skönt ibland att slippa och släpa på grejerna. Men jag tar nog ur djuren i alla fall. Så har jag gjort någonting vettigt och bra.
So the days you've had here, you've enjoyed it, is it?
Yeah. Fantastic.
Your vision of Scotland, is it what you had in mind, or is it different?
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
It's more. I think it's more fantastic than I thought it was from the first beginning.
Yeah. This is the second time we tried to shoot this stag this year.
Okay.
Yeah. About 2 weeks ago, we missed this stag on 60 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, on the top of this hill.
Oh shit.
So he had no luck. His luck ran out today.
Yeah. Really. Yeah, nice one.
It's a nice one,
Nice
yeah?
little one, yes.
When we make a selection in the herd, what we're trying to do is balance the management of the herd with the aspirations of hunters.
Yeah.
And I believe that stags don't have a big influence on the population genetically before they're 5 years old.
Yeah.
If you have a balanced population and a lot of strong males, the young boys see very little action.
Yeah.
So it's not worth worrying about their genetics at that stage.
No.
So if you shoot them younger than 5,
Yeah.
you shoot them younger than 5 because they have health issues.
Yeah.
This is my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. But
What you then do
yeah.
is you wait till they're 5 years old, and then you make a selection.
Yeah.
And the growth of antler is based on feeding, shelter and genetics.
Yes.
Yeah. And density also plays a role. The higher the female density, the poorer the antler growth.
Yeah.
There definitely seems to be a strong connection here.
This that must be genetic. This is the ice tag.
Yeah.
It's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I looked at him, to my taste, he's too narrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tops for an animal that are 5, 6 years old are too small.
Yeah. And this
Yeah.
is about five,
yeah.
6 years.
Yeah. And the second point is missing.
Yes.
So these are characteristics I don't want in the herd.
No. That's
Yeah, you saw standing next to him a stag with 16 ends.
Yeah. It was real nice.
Yeah, and standing here beside this one is a 10-ender. But the body is strong and the antler is not so good.
Real nice body. Really nice.
So thank you.
Thank you.
It was the right
Thank
stag
you
to shoot.
yourself. Thank you. So, if it's okay, should I fix it?
It's entirely up to you. We might let him do it.
Yeah, will you like to? You can do it?
Yeah. It's student time.
Okay.
Yeah. I've done it. You've done it. Now Stuart can do it.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's very good. Do you have a knife or?
Yeah.
You'd like to borrow a real Swedish knife?
Yes. Stuart comes from what we call a keepering, a game keepering background. His father was a grouse keeper and a deer stalker in the Eastern Highlands. And Stuart's already been training for 2 years already. 2 years already. And he contacted us over a year ago and said he would like to get involved in deer hunting. So he joined us 6-7 months ago.
Yeah. Well, if you're tired of him, you can call me and you can work with me in Sweden if you like.
He'll contact you tomorrow, I think.
No, I don't think so.
So he's come here, and there's a college in the north, part of the University of the Highlands, that does a qualification in gamekeeping and wildlife management.
Okay.
And Stuart is on this course just now.
And after that, you must have a practice study year.
Yeah. What he does is they do what they call block release. So he does a period at the college, and a period on placement with us, and a period at the college.
Exactly.
And he does this now it's 2 years he does this.
Well, I should explain this in Swedish. Det är precis ungefär som vi har i Sverige. De går på ett vildmarksgymnasium. Lite mer likt kanske viltmästarutbildning här, så varvar de praktik med teori. Och det är ungefär som jag har med mina APU som kommer och som går i gymnasiet. Och sen så ska man förhoppningsvis, om viljan finns och han vill fortsätta, bli jägare och guida jägare uppe på höglandet. Ja, så är det. Okej. And you have a Mora knife. That's nice.
Yeah.
Morakniven är oerhört stor i Skottland för att den är billig. Och tappar man den så kan man bara skaffa en ny. Och den är faktiskt riktigt bra. Prisvärd kan man säga. Typ 15-20 spänn.
Yeah. See this model here? This is one of the best little knives I've ever seen.
You can give me that and I'll take it home so you have the right. And
I'll
send you a box.
How do you say that again?
Morakniv.
Morakniv. Yeah, I would say absolutely excellent.
Okay.
And we have this, with the gear we have here, we put a pocket for the knife in the trousers.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
It hides in there. And you don't have to worry when you're crawling on the mountain. A lot of guys put the knife on their belt. And when you're crawling on the mountain and you have to slide, the knife gets caught and you lose it. Whereas in here, it's no problem.
Så Mora är populärt här i Skottland. But I send you a box.
That's splendid.
Nice. Yes, it costs nothing in Sweden.
We thought we got them at a good price at £12 each.
And you have a real hunting knife in Sweden for that price.
I think we need to spend more time in Sweden, Stuart. Yeah. So what you're looking at here, Thomas, is a byproduct of the production of whiskey. Okay. So what they do is once they've done the distilling, done the crushing system and the distilling, as you'll see when you go around the distillery, they have a waste product from the production called draft, which is basically the crushed barley. And what we do here is, because it's very good quality fodder, we feed it to our deer. And we make it available to them all the year round, and in the winter period we add to it syrups with all the necessary minerals for antler growth. But this is it's a sensible use of a byproduct from the production of whiskey, and what it does do for the red deer, it makes fully the difference of between 1 kilo and 1.5 kilos to the trophy. And we have also on the estate a herd of Chinese deer called Per David deer, or Mailu. And We use them as part of a conservation project. It's also part of the fact that we have them as an additional species on the estate for hunting and for the production of venison.
Okay. It's minerals and everything.
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
And a little bit as melasse or something like that.
What we do is in the winter time, there's a little of that sugary process in it from being crushed, but in the winter time we add molasses and to it, and we also add the additional minerals that it doesn't have to make sure the deer have all the diet they need.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important to feed the animal all around the year.
Yes.
You can't just feed them in winter time so they should survive it. You must feed them all the time.
I agree completely, yeah. And what we've seen here, I mean, in the UK there's been a huge growth in the venison market. In the last year, as we said earlier, the venison market has grown 400%.
Yeah.
And this allows us to convert a waste product into a meat product, into a low carbon healthy food product.
Yeah.
And it also means that the health of our deer is of the very, very highest order.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah. This guy's too big, he's 10 kilos. One is an 18 ender and another is a 20 ender. And down the slope below are another 4. But in here these are all big stags. This big guy that stood up is 9-10 kilos. You could see that he's a big guy.
I saw the top of that.
Yeah. They're still 300 meters, but they're coming. Okay. Down to these trees and cut across. Closer to this other one for a look. One, the red one. No, 3. The middle one, okay. You see 3? The middle one. One orange one, one dark one. Take him in the middle of the shoulder. Okay. Toward the front. No. Good shot. Good shot. Okay. Yep. That's all you need. He makes us a shoulder, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why you can't stick him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's narrow. It's a great trophy. It's a really good trophy. But he's here, between here, he's narrow, okay? This point
Yes.
is missing. And for his age, these are irregular.
It's the eyes tag.
Yeah, and for me, at this age, when you want to have good quality blood, and we do in this area, he's not good enough. Okay?
He's good but not good enough.
For breeding, yeah.
Alltså den här hjorten selekterade vi bort nu för att den är inte genetiskt riktig. De vill ju ha bra hjortar, stora hjortar, fina hjortar som har en jämn trofé, alltså ögontagg, istagg och mellantagg. Och den här hjorten saknar istagg och det där går igenom generna. Så att det är en mycket fin hjort men inte tillräckligt fin för att driva sina anlag vidare.
This is a big stag.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Really big. Really
Yeah,
big.
this one has, what do you reckon, 130, 140 kilos?
I hope it's not heavier than 145.
He could be. Feel free to join in, boys.
Thank you.
Oh.
Stanna inte. Nu är det dags att ge sig ut på jakt efter ett får. En herre som kallas för Billgoat. Fast den heter inte riktigt så, utan vi ska få en noggrannare presentation av det här djuret av Niall. Den har funnits i över 3500 år här och lever fritt här i Skottland. Det är precis som alla andra fårarter. De har mycket bra syn. Men de har ju också en dumhet som gör att de stannar upp. Så att det gäller egentligen bara att hitta dem och sen försöka komma i håll för dem. 300-350 meter närmare så kommer man inte, därför får man smyga en del. Så det kan nog säkert bli en bra jakt på det här också. Så öknamnet eller smeknamnet för den är Billgoat i alla fall. Men Niall kommer förklara lite mer. Det som är just nu det är att de tror att de har fått en tidig brunst. Brunsten ligger i vanliga fall någon gång oktober-november. Och sen föder de lammen i februari, så de går ungefär 3 månader direkt. Ja. Men på något sätt så känns det som att brunsten har börjat redan nu här i september. Så de har en aning om att den är väldigt mycket för tidig. Så vi får se. De luktar fruktansvärt illa, det är det enda vi vet. Och köttet är väl kanske inte det mest delikata, framförallt inte på en gammal bagge. Men det ska bli spännande att se hur det här djuret fungerar och lever och reagerar på jakt.
Yeah, I think it's easier.
What is a Billgoat?
A billy goat. Goats have lived in Scotland for at least 3,000 years. They came here with early settlers, and they almost immediately, well, certainly very close after that time, goats started to live wild in Scotland. And many areas, this mountain area over here, its Gaelic name is Ardgower, which means the high point of the goats.
Yeah.
Traditionally, early settlers used them for meat, for milk, and they took them with them to also keep sheep out of rocky areas. And as agriculture changed, the goats stayed. And interestingly, in Scotland, feral goats, or Neolithic, or whatever they want to call them, or old age goats, they only ever exist close to the sea or close to bodies of water. And a lot of our goats here in the winter time, you find them on the beach eating the seaweed.
Yeah, okay.
And in the summertime they go up into the rocks. And this is very early this year, but the goats are rutting.
Okay.
And you've seen as we came up here, there are billy goats walking about.
Normally it's later on the season.
Yes, it's a little later, but it's been unusual for weather. August was very cold,
Yeah.
and we noticed earlier in the week that the goats had started to rut.
And I know you told me before it smells very well.
Yes, you'll get it's pity you can't film smell.
No.
Because people would cry.
But I can try to explain.
You can try to explain.
Yeah, okay.
I think you should demonstrate Swedish skinning technique.
No, now it's your time.
Okay.
It's your turn now.
So what we did
This area here, you'll see as you're walking over it, there are a lot of mounds in the grass. What we're trying to do here is to re-establish, we spoke a little earlier about the ancient oak forest, this sessile oak. What we're trying to do is extend the forest again as a conservation act. Unfortunately, the goats haven't quite worked this out. And they think we did this for them. So we have a problem. The goats do come into the trees and eat the young trees. So it's especially important that we keep the numbers down here. Okay. I understand, yes. You see them? Yeah, right down there. Right down there. Yeah, I mean that. Some good stacks there. Yeah. Higher, more close. You see this birch tree at the end? At the end, left side, yes. Yeah. Come past it to the high vegetation and then into the dip, and you see a nanny goat grazing up this gully. Ja. Vi har sett en tacka nu och i och med att brunsten är igång nu så lär det inte dröja så länge för den stora herren kommer. Han var här förut men gick precis över berget, precis över fjällryggen här kan man säga. Så vi får avvakta och vänta lite. I need to put your glass under to take it out. Yeah. 153. Do you want to go further up? You need to change places with me. Okay. Round you go. More to the right. Go to the right, yeah. Change places with me. Is it okay for the grass? Yeah, it's okay. Come out, there's no grass, it's just rock. Okay. I'll come round behind you. Now we're cooking. Now I think you can catch him, no problem. Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Oh, I can smell you now, boy.
Stevie,
Prost!
you take him.
Very nice, Neil.
You get the smell of him now, eh?
Yes. He smell like, den luktar ungefär som ganska dålig ost kan jag säga. Och det känns på lång väg. Och som tur är så arbetar ju inte jag här utan det här är ju faktiskt guidernas arbete. När jag är hemma då hjälper jag dem, mina gäster alltså, och nu så hjälper de mig. Tycker jag bra.
This is very typical.
Oh, let's give him a cuddle, Neil.
Yeah, that's very typical of a feral goat, okay?
Now we must explain. It's a year for...
What you can see is you get the distinct year bands, okay? So you have 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy is 5 years old.
Yes.
This billy is 5, okay?
Yeah. And this is a big one for a billy goat.
For a billy goat, this is a good billy.
Yeah.
There are occasionally you might get them a little bit down about here, but for the billy goats we've seen recently, this is a nice one. He's mature. It's a nice trophy.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting hunt. For us, the goats, as we say, they do well along the seashore and in the woodlands because they're browsers and they're very capable of going to different areas.
Yeah.
It's important that you keep the population at a level that the woodlands can survive, and you'll always find them classically where you are here.
Yeah.
Where there's some rock and there's a lot of browsing in the rocks, and there's some woodland in the winter time, and they can come down to the seashore.
And they are like all the goats. They have a good, they see very well.
They see well.
Yeah.
They've got a reasonably good sense of smell. You saw we were on this rock up here.
Yeah.
And when we came around the edge of the rock, he could see us.
Yes, good.
It's an interesting animal. Some people say that Europe changes a lot, and people say this is a native species to Europe. This is not a native species to Europe.
Yeah.
And for many, there's an argument that this goat was brought here by settlers.
Yeah.
And because of this, they say it's feral, and because of this, they say it's not native. But there are many animals in Europe now that we brought.
Yeah.
And there's increasing evidence now that not only with goats, but with other animals, we moved them to places in Europe where we wanted them. And perhaps after 3,000 years, he's allowed to call himself a local.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. A really local.
A real local.
And it's interesting. The females can have a maximum two lambs, and they are with children about 3 months or something like that. Yeah. And normally they have their party time in.
Normally it's in the later part of the autumn. We're now in early September.
Yeah.
We wouldn't expect to see rutting activity for the goats for at least a month. So minimum we're seeing with a lot of things this year, minimum things are 3 to 4 weeks early.
Yeah.
So it's unusual.
Yeah.
It's interesting for us. One of the things we have here too that affects the survival of the goats is the fact that the sea eagles are increasing now. We have a big population of sea eagles, and they take a lot of the goat kids. So there's an argument there that perhaps the goats play an important role, not just for meat and for hunting, but also as a food source for the eagles.
Och tack och lov här nu så behöver jag inte göra det själv. Här är det inte jag som är yrkesjägaren, utan här har vi duktiga killar. Och varför man gör så här, det är ett bogmontage helt enkelt. Det är ett minne naturligtvis. Så trofén är en god etisk fråga, det ska man ju veta. Även om vi i Sverige kanske är lite sämre på att spara troféer, i alla fall om jag går till mig själv. Men den här ska vi spara, och det här ska bli ett bogmontage. Det här är ju också en form av skyddsjakt kan man säga. För här har man hängnat in 1000 hektar skog, men getterna bryr sig inte om det. Och nu i brunsttid så har de tagit sig in här. Så att det är ju av flera syften som man skjuter dem här. Och då försöker man naturligtvis när man kan att selektera. Här har vi skjutit en gammal bagge. Han är 5 år gammal. Och luktar väldigt illa. De har en fruktansvärd doft. Det tål att sägas flera gånger. Det går ju inte att förmedla det här på ett annat sätt än att säga det. Så att, och sen dessutom, köttet är i princip oätligt. Inte gott i alla fall. Och därför lämnar man det här till örnarna. Och det sparar ju andra djur naturligtvis. Man har mycket får i Skottland och örnen tar mycket lamm. Så det här är ju ett bra sätt.